All right, all right, all right. Let's make sure this is working properly. You guys know how I can boomer up a crap load of stuff, so hopefully this is coming through okay. But testing, testing. Come on, YouTube, catch up, do something. There we go, there we go. Come on, YouTube, catch up. All right, now it's working. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Misfit Corner Scams. As there it is known as Andrew speaking, and we are live streaming once again. Today is Saturday, July 30th, and man, this was a very tiring week. But I tell you what, Friday was freaking awesome for scam calls. I got half a dozen like in the morning, and maybe two or three of them will make a good video, and in the afternoon I just had a couple more, and it was like, oh, I'm just living la vida loca. Having a good old time. I released one of the calls this morning. That was the credit card scammer who was very open in talking to me. I don't know if I could believe 90% of what he said to me, but I had a good time playing with him, and I'm not sure if I've ever spoken with him before, but it was a lot of fun. So if you guys haven't had an opportunity to listen to the video from this morning, I think the title says something about credit card scammer gives and gives and gives some more. It's true. It's true. But I had a great time just messing with the guy, and I hope you all enjoy the video. Um, Last week I was talking about shorts. Shorts are new videos. Well, I don't know how new they are on YouTube. There's something that YouTube's trying to promote for channels for people to create shorts. They're usually short videos in the vertical aspect ratio of people's phones. Something that you can easily flip through on your phone. And I started making some, and I was enjoying it. I was having a good time making the shorts and sharing them with people. What I did not know in the making of the shorts is they literally have to be short. Turns out if it's more than 60 seconds, YouTube does not identify it as a short. It identifies it as a regular video. And I put up 6 or 7 of these shorts last week, and only 3 of them were actually considered shorts. And I couldn't figure out why. And then I started listening to some videos on how to make shorts and so forth, only to find out that they have to be less than 60 seconds or less. Hey, awesome one. How's it going? And I was able to edit 3 or 4 of my videos so that they were shorter than 60 seconds so that they could be considered shorts. But a couple of the other ones I put up were like 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes long. I just I'm either going to take them down or I'm just going to leave them up. And from now on, make shorts that are the appropriate length. I didn't make a short yesterday. I haven't made a short for today. So I'm kind of going to start fresh this week, either tomorrow or Monday, one way or another. But I'm going to start making shorts again, and they will be 60-second actual shorts. So shorts, what a silly term. But yeah, that's it. That's the most um, crazy, important thing going on this week. I originally had committed to myself one video a day, at least one video a day, regardless of length. If it was a 2-minute video or a 20-minute video, it didn't matter as long as I put out one video a day. And with the shorts, it's literally you're putting out 2 videos a day minimum. Like I said before, I've got enough material that I could probably make several shorts, but once again, it's a matter of having the time and doing it. That's always a struggle with me, but that's okay. But yeah, very excited. This was a good week. I've got a 30+ minute call that I'm debating whether I'm going to make that for tomorrow or if I'm going to leave it for Monday. I think because I don't think I need to edit it any. I don't think there wasn't any bad words. Oh, I do. No, I take that back. At one point, what are you idiots doing? The cats are fighting behind me. But there is one point in the video where the guy says and confirms my telephone number, so I will need to edit that out. But I think that's the only thing I need to edit out. So publishing that one should probably be pretty easy. But it was a 30-plus minute call that originally started as an Amazon scam. They then transferred me to my bank, which I told him was Bank of America. So I had a scammer pretending to be Bank of America. And then for some reason, he transferred me to the Federal Trade Commission, saying that it had something to do with identity fraud. So, in other words, I talked to three different scammers. It was the most ridiculous thing, but I had such a good time. Hey, Manuel, how's it going? He says, "Good evening, Andrew. Happy Saturday." Yep, Clark's here. Hey, Clark, how's it going? Guys, I'll be honest with you all. This is probably going to be a shorter stream simply because I did so much talking yesterday. I did so much. My throat is killing me. I'm taking some of my my antiseptic spray, but I might be coming down with something. But my throat is just so dry. I'm okay right this second, but the more I talk, the more it's going to be killing me. And honestly, I just I didn't win the lottery. I know most of you probably didn't win the lottery either, so I'm still here. Still here, still working. Clark says, "Hey to Awesome One." Oh, yeah, I forgot. I can do this. Clark says, "Hi to the Awesome One." The Awesome One says, "Hi back to Clark." And Manuel says, "Hi to Clark." Hope you guys are doing good. I had a fantastic day at the store today. I had a guy come in, and I absolutely love it when guys come in, start going through the comics, and start making stacks and stacks of comics. And it just brings a huge smile to my face when they bring up a stack of comics for two reasons. Number one, I make a little bit of money, which is good, but it also makes room for new stuff, which is always an issue. I don't know if you guys shop at comic book stores or not, but having room for all the comics you have is always a struggle. And there's a comic sale that my brother-in-law and I are going to the end of August, and on average, I probably bring 200 to 400 comics to the store. After that sale, I pick up a lot of stuff, and I'm looking forward to picking up a bunch of new stuff. And of course, you got to have room for it. So let's see. Awesome One says you have a better chance of getting attacked by a polar bear in Florida than winning the lottery. That is absolutely true. But I played anyway. I tried it. I haven't checked my numbers to see if I came even close. But supposedly somebody out in the Northwest or something, there was one ticket, and hey, good for them. Congratulations. 1.3 billion. That's a lot of money, and hopefully their lives won't be ruined because of it. But we can all dream, right? I originally told my boss on Friday, I said, if I win the lottery, I'm not coming to work on Monday. I will be at work on Monday. Actually, my boss and the rest of my team that I work with on my day job, they're all in New York, in different parts of New York. They're actually coming down to Florida in a few weeks, so I get to meet at least two of the team members. One of them I've met before, my boss I've met before, but the other two I've never met in person. So that's going to be kind of cool, But the sucky part about that, I'm gonna just tell you guys and nobody else. The sucky part about that means I got to go into the office, which means I have to turn my cell phone on to at least vibrate. I can't have it on, which means if I get scam calls while I'm in the office, I'm probably most likely going to miss them. That's all right. When I'm working from home and I get a scam call, I can take it. No big deal. Unless, of course, I'm on a meeting or something. But yeah, that's the way it goes. Clark says, I window shop at comic shops, but everywhere around here is pretty high in price. Yep. We have one of those chain stores where they have multiple stores here in Jacksonville. Their store, they have a very big store, and they carry a lot of new comics and a lot of toys and stuff, and their prices are somewhat ridiculous. And I know a lot of people complain about that, but if you want something new, you've got to go there to get it because they're one of the only places that have it. Whereas me, I have mostly almost everything I have is back issues. I don't have current issues. I don't get weekly comics from Diamond, which is the main distributor. Um, I just never got around to getting an account, and honestly, new comics kind of stink. So a lot of back issues, and I have a ball talking to people and selling people back issues. So Manuel says, I watched the news 10 Lafayette, Louisiana. A man gets letters from Best Buy changing on his account. He says nothing to do. It was a scam. I haven't gotten any. I have honestly. I do a lot of business with Best Buy. I used to go there all the time. And I have Best Buy card and an account and everything. I haven't gotten any scam attempts on Best Buy. Not as much as like Amazon and Walmart. Amazon and Walmart are probably the more common ones that everybody uses, but Best Buy would be one to look out for. Clark says we need a shop like yours around the area. Yeah, well, one of the good things about my store, and I'm very, very lucky. I'm in a location that's a decent location. Uh, my rent is not super high. Um, it's very easy for me to cover it each month. It's a monthly thing, so I'm not committed to any long term. So honestly, if the crap hit the fan tomorrow, I'd be able to pack up the store, put it all in storage, and close it down the next month. So I'm not in a long term thing. I'm not paying for extensive electricity or any of that other stuff. It's all wrapped up in the bill. And I have a day job that pays me well enough that when I'm in the store and somebody comes in, they want to buy something, I can wheel and deal and I can play around and I can offer deals. And a lot of the other stores, especially in the flea market, some of them, the store is their primary source of income. So when they say this is a $5 item, it's a $5 item. There's nothing they're going to change. They have to get $5. Where if I've got $5 on something and you offer me four, yeah, sure, what the heck, prices are just suggestions anyway. But I mean, I'm very lucky in that fact that I can be flexible, and a lot of my regulars know that, and they always come in and they always tease me about it too, because every now and then I'll be ringing up one of my regulars and the total will be $12. I said, that looks like 10, and they're holding a $10 bill in their hand because they know they know that that I'm cool like that. So, but I'm very lucky in that fact. Manuel says, sorry, it was charged to his account. Oh, okay. I gotcha. Oh, let's see who we have here. This is Rosie's Cottage. Says, evening, everybody. Hope everybody is well and enjoying your weekend. Hugs from the hubby. Our fur baby, Jade, and I are from the middle of the night, Scotland. Oh, okay. Scotland. That's awesome. Oh my gosh. That kitten, Betsy. I don't know what got into her this evening. My wife and I were sitting on the couch having dinner, just sitting down watching one of the new episodes of Paper Girls on Amazon Prime. It's based on a comic series. If anybody out there is interested, it's kind of cool. We're on like the third episode, so we have our feet on the ottoman, and we're relaxed, and we're just sitting watching the show. The kitten jumps up, and she bites my sock. She bites my toe in the sock, and I'm going, "What are you doing?" And I'm moving my leg like this, and she's straddling my foot the entire time, biting my foot. And I mean, she's got sharp teeth, but I mean, I'm not too worried about it. And I'm like, "What is she?" And my wife is just dying because it's literally like she's on a bucking bronco and won't let go. Such a weird ass kitten, so weird, but we love her so. All right, let's see. Luigi's here, and he says, "Do you see the people call center from Scam Payback?" I did. I did. I was watching that. I watched Betty on there on CJ Scams. That was freaking awesome. I don't know how they do it. I don't know how they're able to listen into calls, but that was amazing. I was like, that is so cool. That was a fantastic stream. Now I was only there for like the first 20 or 30 minutes of it, so I didn't see everything else that they were doing because I know at one point she was sitting down talking to people, and but I listened to her listen in on calls and call people back and try to explain to people about scams. And I was shocked at how some people were very dismissive of the fact that somebody was telling them, "Hey, that call you were just on was a scam. You need to be careful. You need to watch out for it." And they were like, "Oh, I don't really care." Like, okay, you are the prime person that's going to fall for it. Clark says hi to Rosie. Clark says laugh out loud, and Luigi says I'm a big fan, and yes, I subscribed. Fantastic, fantastic. Man, yeah, I had seen the pop-up that she had gone live, and I turned it on, and she's in that call center atmosphere where they were, and I'm like, "This is cool." I think that's awesome. Now, I don't know exactly what technology they were using in order to do it, but, way, 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 way above my means and my knowledge, but man, it was very cool. Um, Rosie says hi to Clark and says waving across the miles. Very cool. Manuel says I was that too. It was really good. People calling the center scams payback. Yes, yes, that was very interesting. Um, Suro Tessie says, "Oi, hello, hello." I've whenever I tell a scammer that I have a YouTube channel, I don't know if I should do that or not. It doesn't really matter. I tell them anyway. I'm sure if they wanted to find me, they could find me. But they always ask, like, what's your channel? What's the name of your channel? I never do tell them. I say, no, I'm not going to tell you. I'll let you figure it out yourself. But the one that I had, if you guys haven't heard the call from this morning, uh, he kept well, what's the name of your channel? I said, no, I'm not going to tell you that. You have to find it yourself. He says, well, what are you going to name the video? And I made up some stuff, some rather rude stuff about him. And he starts looking for it. I'm like, you idiot. I'm on the call right now. I'm not making it into a video. And I want y'all to know that if you heard the video, you see at one point, I get back in front of my computer and I turn on my camera and I start talking to the guy on my computer. I almost went live and did it as a live stream. But right before I went to go do that, I thought to myself, I don't know what this idiot's going to say. So going live could get me into a lot of trouble. So I didn't. I went ahead and just continued to record it like I normally do. And he dropped a few F bombs and said the S word once, I think. That I beeped those out of the video, but I mean, nothing horrible was said. But because I could not predict what he might say, I didn't want to go live. And hopefully you guys understand that. But uh, maybe one of these days I will. Maybe one of these days when I'm sitting in front of the computer and a call comes up, I'll just jump on a live stream and see what happens. You never know. You never know. But that was a good one. Yes. Yeah. Let's see here. Clark says to Rosie, I've always wanted to visit Scotland. Love the accents there. The awesome one said he heard it. Very good. He also says the smelly goat and daddy. Yes, that's what I told him I was going to name it because he said he was my dad. What an idiot. Manuel says, I just watched the YouTube video scam credit card. It was so funny. It was. Luigi says, I see you have a Jags hat. Are you a fan? Because I'm from Philly and your football used to be the Eagles, and man, we miss him. Your Jags are going to do well. I hope so. Yeah, I've been a Jag. I need to step back. My dad retired from the Navy when I was in 8th grade, I think. And we moved back to Jacksonville because we were stationed in Jacksonville at one point. My parents really liked Jacksonville. And we moved back here, and my parents bought one of those houses where it's two houses connected, and my grandparents, my mother's parents, bought the house next to us, and they were retiring and moving down to Jacksonville. And now my grandparents were huge football fans, whereas my family could have cared less. A couple years after that, the Jags came to Jacksonville. Be- Jacksonville became an NFL franchise, and from that moment on, we were all Jag fans. My parents they inherited the season tickets. They go to most of the games. I've been to several games. I watch all the games. I try to watch all the games. They're usually on while I'm in the store. And I actually had one of my customers got me a antenna for my TV that I have in the store. I have a 32-inch TV in the back where I play videos, usually Big Bang Theory or cartoons or what did I watch today? Oh, Batman Begins. I had Batman Begins on today. And what else did I put on? Oh, just I had a random season of The Simpsons. I had that playing in the store today. But one of my regulars bought me an antenna so that I could get the local stations and excuse me, get the local stations and watch the Jag games while I'm in the store. So that's kind of cool. But yep, I got to tell you guys a funny story. There was a point in time where um, my wife and I considered moving out of Jacksonville. Now, we met here in high school and have been here ever since. And we were considering moving to Charlotte. I had visited Charlotte, North Carolina, and it was beautiful. It was a beautiful place. And I actually took my wife and the kids up there, and we looked around and we started talking about, job prospects and schools and so forth, about moving the kids up there. And we considered it probably for about a good 3 or 4 months. We considered the possibility of moving to Charlotte. And my mother got worried. And I asked her, I said, "What are you worried about?" And she's like, "My grandbabies are going to become Panther fans." And I said, "Mom, hold on a second. Both of my kids were born in Jacksonville. Both of my kids have been raised as Jacksonville Jaguar fans." And I told her, I said, "Don't worry. Even if we move away, those kids bleed teal. And even if they're not Jaguar fans, even if they could care less about football because they were born here, they are forever Jaguar fans at heart." And my mom was a little relieved about that, but we never moved to Charlotte. But I told her, I said, "Don't worry, Mom. They bleed teal." And she, oh, thank goodness. But yeah, big football fan. Love watching games. I haven't been to a game in a couple of years, simply with all the COVID stuff and all. But it's an experience. If you guys have never been to an NFL game, you should go. It's an experience. It's a lot of fun. I took my wife to. I think I took her to a Jaguar game, and then when we had the Gator Bowl, which is the college playoff games. I'm not sure if it's still called the Gator Bowl now or if it's something else. I took her to one of those games, and when I asked her afterwards, I said, "What did you think?" And she was like, "I should have brought my knitting with me." Because she could care less about football. You're just going to sit there and watch something you don't care anything about. She's like, "I should have had my knitting with me." And I'm like, "Oh, love you, dear." Let's see what else is going on. Clark says, "I saw that this morning. Great video." Yep, it was a good one. It was a good one. Manuel says is a fan of the Dallas Cowboys. Very good, very good. See, Cowboys aren't in our conference, so I don't, whatever. But I had somebody left a comment on one of my videos that I need to get rid of my Jags hat. I need to replace it with a Steelers hat, and I told him that was blasphemy. But honestly, the Steelers are no longer in our conference, so that Steelers are not bad. The Steelers, in my mind, they're not a bad team. But had the person said you need a Texans, Colts, or oh my gosh, I'm blanking on the other one that's in our division. Texans, Colts, and oh crap, I'm blanking. Anyway, if it was any of those guys, Titans. Oh, I can't believe I forgot the Titans. We hate the Titans, by the way. Hate the Titans. If it's any of them, no, not going to happen. funny story to tell you guys later, but hold on, let me catch up on this. Rosie says to Clark, ours is a less than popular one. Laugh out loud. We live on the West Coast, so at least near us, the most recognizable accents would be Glaswegian. Think Mel Gibson in Braveheart. Oh, so in other words, I would need subtitles. I know you don't get subtitles in real life, but there's a lot of movies I watch nowadays, even ones I've seen before, that I really have to have the subtitles on so I can know what's going on. But that's cool. That's very cool. Rosie says to Clark, but the East Coast accent, Edinburgh, is far more posh. They look down on us, of course. Oh, well, you should visit the States. People look down on people everywhere you go. As a matter of fact, this is really a sad story, but whenever I'm driving around and somebody driving does something stupid, like cut somebody off or does something stupid, I always check to see what their license plate is. And if it's from out of state, I always say to myself, foreigners. I was with my daughter one time and somebody did something really stupid, like right in front of me, and my daughter was like, and I was calm because I kind of expect things to happen. So I reacted and everything was okay. And they pulled in front of me and they had an Alabama license plate. And I went, Alabama! That explains it. Anyway, we have a lot of bad drivers in Florida, and yeah, we're used to it. Clark says, "Oh, okay. I didn't realize there were different accents, but it makes sense that the way it is in the States too. It absolutely is. The majority of my family comes from New England, so you get that Boston accent. Um, my wife tells me the way to describe a Boston accent is to hold your nose.
Go ask your mother. Go talk to your mother.
I know that's a bad accent, but that's it." Rosie says, laugh out loud, love that. In Scotland, we have Celtics and Rangers, and hubby once said that if they cut him in half, just like the writing on Blackpool Rock, they'll have the Celtics written all the way through. Yep. Yep. Well, I tell my friends sometimes that there's a difference between going to a town or a city that has an NFL team or a Major League Baseball team or whatever, the Yankees or whatever. There's a difference between moving to a town and living there and being born in that town. You know, my kids were both born here in Jacksonville. They've lived here their entire lives. They will never be able to get away from that fact. And that's just the truth. I was born in some little itty bitty dinky town in Rhode Island that I don't even remember. From what I've been told, we didn't even live there very long before my dad, who was in the Navy, had to move, and we moved all up and down the East Coast and overseas and so forth. And so I never had a hometown really. And my kids not only have a hometown, but they have a NFL city hometown. So it's kind of cool. Let's see. Clark says, aren't the Titans in Tennessee now? Yes, they are. They are one of our hated and despised teams. There was one year that we did super well. We made it all the way to the playoffs, like almost made it to the Super Bowl, and we only lost to one team that entire year, and it was the Titans both times. So we despise the Titans. We also despise the Titans because there was a point in time where the Titans were getting a new stadium, and it was the year after they had beaten us. Our record was like 14-2 or something, and the two that we lost was to the Titans. And the Titans coach was being interviewed for an NFL show, and they asked him about not having a home because their stadium was being constructed or whatever. And he jokingly said, well, it's going to be really nice having a brand new home, a place where you come to and you feel, at home. And then he made the crack, well, that, and when we go to Jacksonville, it's like, oh, and it was something along those lines. So yeah. The awesome one says, Clark, yes, Nashville. Yeah, you guys can keep it. The awesome one says, I'm from Mass. Be careful, Andrew. Laugh a lot. Yeah, well, to be honest with you, the majority of my family are New England fans. I never had a connection to the Patriots, but my brother-in-law is a huge Patriots fan, and he even though he's married to a Jaguar fan, my sister, he's still a Patriots fan, and we have a lot of fun ribbing each other. It's all playful fun, but it's always fun. Luigi says, when a scammer calls and they have a thick accent and say their name is John Clark, do you question him? From time to time, I will. There was, I'm not sure if I released this call yet or not. I have to double check, but I had one where, oh, I gotta check. I may not have done this. I may not have released it yet. The guy told me his name. He said it was like Brian Patterson or Anderson. Anderson was his last name. And early in the conversation, I asked him where he was. And he told me he was in the States, but that he was from Portugal and that he'd lived here for 2 years, but he's previously from Portugal. And then he told me his name and last name was Anderson. I said, wait a minute. I thought you said you were from Portugal. Your last name's Anderson and you lived in Portugal, or you're from Portugal? And he's like, yeah, my dad was American. That's the name he gave me. And I'm like, oh, you are so full of crap. I got to check and see if I've released that recording because it was a good one. I have to double check. Hell, you guys might know if you watch all my videos. You might know if I argued with a guy about whether from being from Portugal, if he was actually in the States or not. But Rosie says, Misfit Corner scams, it's fine. We have all the ships building, the engineers, and one of the oldest universities, useful people. Edinburgh has a castle and a parliament nobody listens to. Well, here in the States, we listen to our politician ad nauseum, and sometimes it's just really depressing. We're not talking about politics here. But I understand what you're saying. Absolutely. Clark says, I'm from Northern Illinois originally, and I had almost no accent, just very bland when anyone spoke. But then I moved to Arkansas, and now I have a Southern twang accent that I can't stand. Yeah, I don't know if I have an accent or not. I mean, I'm sure I do. I mean, there's some things I say that you could tell where I might be from, but I never picked up the Boston accent. My mom and her family were originally from that area. My dad was from Iowa, so I don't know what kind of accents they have out there. I haven't been there in many years, but yeah. I always chalk my accent up to dumb American. And Todd and Avery will tell you because I have the hardest time speaking words, just normal everyday words. They like to pick on me because there's some things that I say wrong every single time, and I have to consciously stop myself and pronunciate words because I know if I don't do it, they'll pick on me mercilessly. I think one of Todd's favorite is homage because I always called it homage, and he would laugh his ass off whenever I would say that. Because there's a famous comic book artist studio group that the name of the group was Homage Studios, and I used to call it Homage, and he used to pick on me mercilessly because I just dumb American. That's why that's my accent. And it's sad because my children are very much like me. My daughter, one of the words that she has a very hard time saying that I think is just the cutest thing ever. Now, my daughter's like mid-20s right now. but you get her to say crayon. She can't say it, and she says it so it's just, I pick on her to this day because I say, "Hey, hey, hey, what's this?" And I'll show her a box of crayons, and she's like, "Shut up, Dad," because she has a hard time saying it. I love it. She's a good kid. Oh, Max is here. Hey, Max. He says, "Hello, Timothy." Timothy is probably my second favorite fake name I use. This is the often Craven Moorhead with the Jacksonville, Florida IRS Department. We have issued a warrant under your name. Bring it on. Bring it on. Clark says, laugh out loud. That's right. That's right. Rosie says, laugh out loud. Oh no, run, Timothy. I've gotten into arguments with the Social Security scammers sometimes when they tell you that they're going to send the cops to your house. It's like, okay, I'm waiting. Have them come by. I'll wait for them. They never do, but they love to throw that out. Those are pretty funny ones. They think that scares people, that they're going to tell you they're going to send somebody to your home, and most of the time it's like, you have no even idea who I am, where I live. All you have is my telephone number. You are ridiculous people. So let's see. Manuel says, I'm originally South American, Chile, but knowing living in the state of Louisiana, I speak Spanish and English. Oh, that's fantastic. I in high school here, I'm not sure if they do it everywhere, but here in Florida, or Jacksonville specifically, that's where I went to high school, you have to take at least 2 years of a foreign language. And my English teacher recommended I take Latin. And the reason is because Latin is the root of most words in many languages. And her thought was, it will help me better in English to understand the root of most words, which come from Latin. And I struggled my ass off in Latin. It's not a speaking language, nobody speaks it anymore. And it didn't help me at all. There are times that I will see a word, especially a medical term, and I will know the root of the word and what it means based on what little bit I remember from Latin. But that's it. It's never ever helped me out. I think my biggest accomplishment in Latin is the term etc. Everybody here has heard the term etc., but the word itself is actually two words: E-T-C-E, set, E-T-C-E-T-R-A, etc., which actually means and so forth. Et is and, cetera is so forth. That is the Latin words. And so when somebody says etc., what they're actually saying is they're saying Latin for and so forth. So yeah, see, y'all learned something. I bet you a lot of you already knew that, but that's okay. All right, let's see. Rosie says, who knew it could be so difficult to spell Timothy? I know. I was shocked that name was so difficult. They seem to have such trouble with it. They do. They have a hard time pronouncing it. They have a hard time spelling it. It's all, I mean, in my mind, Timothy is like Jonathan or Michael. It's a fairly common name, but they struggle with it. I'm like loving it. I mean, if they're going to struggle with it, I'm going to keep using it. I have a hard time. They often have a hard time with Herschel as well, which, and it's really funny if you listen to any of my early scam calls in which I used Herschel's name, I misspelled his name. I forgot the C. I would say Hershel. Well, that's not how you spell Herschel. There's a C in the middle there. And even I would misspell my own name, my own fake name. Luigi says, I'm going to say goodnight, but remember, one, this is you're doing good against scammers. I will always watch Hill Street Blues quote, Hey, let's be careful out there. Yep, absolutely. Very good. Thank you, Luigi. I appreciate it. The awesome one says to Clark, just think of if there was a Woolworth in London, it would be Werewolf of London. Oh, that's awesome one. That's a dad joke. I'm pretty sure. Manuel says, I like your name, Herschel Jones. Talk with scammers. That's right. That's right. Uh, I know I'm going to say it wrong. Sir Nosy. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. Whenever I see a Defender scam link on Facebook, I leave a comment saying it's a scam. One day, for some reason, I called the number. Really? Really? Vegas Coin Vegas says, what does writ of habeas corpus mean? Writ of habeas corpus, I know, has something to do with the body. Honestly, I'd have to look it up. But yeah, that is Latin, of course. But what terms I remember from Latin, I can't say because they're very rude and would get me in trouble. But etc. is probably my favorite one. I'll look up the habeas corpus thing. I know it has something to do with a body. Uh, Rosie says that's says to Manuel, that's fabulous. I'm in awe of anyone who is bilingual. I wish I was smarter. Ain't that the truth? Well, I should say I speak scammer because a lot of times you guys will notice when I'm on a call, I'll often say to what did you say? I can't understand you. I knew exactly what they said. I'm just trying to drag the call out a little bit further and drive them crazy, but I know what they're saying. So technically, I speak scammer. Wink, wink. What is your happy birthday? It's one of my favorite terms. What is your happy birthday? How do you know it was happy? You know, somebody could have died on my birthday. That's horrible. Why? It's not happy at all. Cyrna C says the connection was so bad I hung up. They called back, told them I dialed the wrong number. That's good. That's good. I've had scammers who I was in the middle of a call with, and somehow the line got disconnected. And I'm always shocked when they call me back, as I figured they're giving up on me. But I've had a couple in the past that have called me back, and they're like, "Hey, what happened? I didn't hang up on you. Trust me, I never would have hung up on you." Clark says, "Very true to the awesome one." Manuel says, "Thank you so much, Rosie." Yep. Uh, I'm gonna have a prop saying this name, Sir Notesy. Is that it? Yeah, maybe that's it. Next day, I was watching a scammer playback video, and the scammer was using my name. Really? Heard it again a couple of times over the next week. Wow, that's awesome. They use your name? That's great. Rosie says, good night, Luigi. Let's see. Sir Norsey. Okay, all right. Yeah, if it's not something simple like cat and dog, I'm going to struggle with it. Vegas Coin says, I have been able to crash the script of robots that call to harvest information or pre screen calls. You can ask them to transfer to a robot, or you can interrupt and force it to recalculate. I had one time where it came through as a girl's voice, and it says, "Hi, this is Heather," and I said, "Hi, Heather, how are you?" And she went, and it started the script over again. And I kept saying, "Hi, Heather, how are you?" And it kept going, "Hi, my name's Heather." I was like, "Oh, jeez." But yeah, some of the robo ones you can screw with. A lot of times I found there's somebody listening, there's somebody behind it. So if you screw too much with them, they'll just disconnect the call. So, but real robocalls are listening for specific answers. So if they ask you a question, they're listening for either a yes or a no. And sometimes you can get away with saying whatever you want as long as you answer yes or no. I've done that in the past. It's a lot of fun. But sometimes there's somebody behind it and they know you're screwing with them and they'll hang up. So habeas corpus has something to do with being arrested or judges, I think. Yeah, I'm going to have to look it up. All right. Writ requiring person under arrest to be brought before judge or into court, especially to secure person's release unless lawfully grounded are shown for detention. His application of habeas corpus. Okay, it has something to do with the person actually. Yeah, corpus, person, body, same thing. You guys may not know this. Another Latin term. Pretty sure everybody out there is familiar with the Avengers movies, right? Most recent ones, and the bad guy whose name is Thanos. Thanos is actually the Latin word for death. That was his name in the comics, is death. And one of the aspects of his character that the movies never focused on in the comics, he is in love with death. There's a character in Marvel Comics that represents death, and it's usually a female form with a skull. And she never says anything, and she's just there. She represents death, and he is madly in love with her. And his name is literally means death. So for those of you out there that didn't know that, yeah, it's kind of cool. But when I was in Latin class and that came up, I was like, hey, I know a character named Thanos from the comics. This is many years before the movie, but Thanos was a character at that time. So Sir notes, he says yes. Vega says after the robot crashes, a minute of silence, then a beep, then the next victim it carried into the call. It was a three-way call with a robot, myself, and the next victim. Wow, that would have been great. That would have been a fantastic call to record and share. Notes. Okay, gotcha. Long story. Okay. Well, feel free to share if you'd like. I'm always curious about some of the names people come up with. I don't always know if they're their real names or if they're, names of, in the internet, you can call yourself whatever you want. I call myself Misfit Corner Comics or Misfit Corner or Drew. I mean, I don't hide behind anything other than those, but I like the fact that people can sometimes have stories of where they're, excuse me, goodness gracious, talking too much, where their names come from or the names they use. So, hey, make a video and tell her. You don't have to do that either. Oh, hey, Rosemary's here. How's it going, Rosemary? How are you? Rosemary says, love all you do, Andrew. Excellent. You guys make it worth it. You guys make it worth it. So I love making videos. I love sharing them. I think it's funny. I had come up with kind of a catchphrase to use, but I only put it one place, and that's on the title bar for the channel. It says something like sometimes funny, sometimes sad, or sometimes funny, often sad, but always informative. It's kind of how I want the channel and the videos to seem. If they're either funny, they're sad that people fall for this crap, is what I mean by that, and they're in it always informative. I actually kind of want to change that around a bit, where it says sometimes sad, sometimes informative, but always funny. I don't know. I'm still playing with it. I think the only catchphrase I have right now is either hang up on them or screw with them like I do. That's it. But I think Avery was telling me that catchphrases and stuff like that is not something that is something that you can decide. It's your fans that decide it. Your fans are the ones, I think. I don't know. I don't know how this whole craziness works. I just do it. And have fun with it. Vegas says, I use PDIT-D to give both my name and to give my age to scammers. Say it out loud, and it sounds like both a name and it sounds like a number, but it's impossible to translate. That's funny. PDIT-D. PDIT-D. Okay, very good. Manuel says, "Hey Andrew, see your cat behind you on the table in the room." Yep, this is Regal. This is the This is the stray that my son. The story of her is pretty funny. My son worked at a movie theater. Well, he still works at a movie theater. And one night, one of his coworkers had gone out, and his theater is right off of a major highway, very close to 295 area. So it's a very, very busy highway. And she was going out to her car, and there's a little kitten crossing the highway, and she went out and grabbed it and brought it in and showed it to my son, and my son was like, well, let's take it home and take care of it. And the girl was like, excellent, let me find out if it's okay if with my parents if I could keep the kitten. And I said, sure, no problem, if they're okay with it, I'll, no problem. And then he got a call from her the next day and said, my parents won't let me keep the kitten. And at that point, my son had already introduced her to the family, and we're like, okay, that's fine. We're keeping her. We love her. She's great, but she was very, very small at the time. But she's a good kitten. We called her the baby girl, even though she's almost. Actually, I think in October she'll be 3. So I mean, she's a full grown cat. But cats, kittens are wonderful. Cats are a pain in the butt, as most cat owners know. Clark says, I think the catchphrase you have now fits you well. Okay. I'm always playing around, maybe come up with something new. You never know. You never know. Well, listen, guys, I did say I was going to kind of wrap this up a little early. My throat is really starting to get to me right now, and I definitely need to relax it a little bit. I've got a whole nother day at the shop tomorrow, and I do a lot of talking. I talk to a lot of people, and I enjoy it. Um, I often, when I'm talking about stuff, I forget to tell them, oh, I got a YouTube channel, by the way. Go check out my YouTube channel. I often forget to do that. But I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys being out there. And just know that there's many, many more videos coming. I've got a whole backlog of videos and recordings that I need to do something with. Some of them are very short, some of them are long, and they're all kind of fun. But let me catch up on what's going on. Let's see. Oh, Clark, I already got that part. Okay. Vegas says, my catchphrase is, can you please transfer me to speak with the robot? That's good. That's good. Oh, they hate it when you tell them, can I talk to somebody who speaks English? I love saying that because it pisses them off so bad. Rosie says she was blessed to be found by your son, Andrew. So glad she has such a good home. Oh, yes, yes. She's a very good cat, and we love her. And she's very soft too. She's very soft. I know. I think it's the type of cat she is, but her fur is extremely soft. Good girl. Good girl. See, she's hanging out on my desk because I have the jar of temptations. All the cats. I'm shaking my milkshake, and it brings all the cats to the yard. That's a really bad dad joke. Rosemary says G. Clark says warm tea and a little honey will help with your throat issue. That's what I got the antiseptic spray for. I'm not a big tea fan. Rosie says, good night, everybody. Many thanks for the chat, Andrew. Thank you so much for joining. Get some sleep, because I know it's really early where you're at, if you can. Rosemary says, you rock. My friends and my children would differ, would argue with you on that fact, but I try. Thumbs up, guys. Oh, wait a minute. One more. Rosie says, Andrew, a couple of spoonfuls of honey every couple of hours will help. Hugs and hope you feel better soon. I appreciate it, guys. All right. Thank you guys for coming. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And enjoy. Oh, Rosie says it's only 2 a.m. Do you know where my ass is at 2 a.m.? Usually by 9 or 10 o'clock, I am done. So, all right. Have a good one, everybody. I'll see y'all next time.